Well, hello everybody, welcome back to the channel and welcome to another review early access hotspot spotlight thing of the upcoming Pumps and Hoses DLC by Creative Mesh. And you might say, what's that about? Specifically about that pumps, hoses, and a lot of slurry. In this first video, I'm not gonna show how everything works, the store and everything, no. My intention on this first video is to give you something. Give you the specific instructions that will allow you to get the DLC, jump into the game, set it up, and start spreading slurry. Having said that, let's jump into it and let's set up a basic environment. Now let's think about what do we need, what are the main components that we are going to be using. Basically a slurry source, hoses, lots of hoses, a transport for the hoses, we need to transport them, injectors, and especially a hand tool, a wrench that allow us to operate the hoses that are laying in the ground. First thing first, at least you are going to need two tractors, one that is operating in the field and another one that is operating your source of slurry. We're going to start setting up the main tractor, the one that is going to be in the field and the one responsible for extending, operating the hoses, and in the end using the injector to inject the slurry into our ground. Let's see what we need. Well, like the name of the DLC, the first and most important component is going to be the hoses. Now, pay attention to how long you buy them, because every single piece of equipment has his own limits and his own requirements. For example, this slurry tank that has his own pump, it has some restrictions. For example, let's check in the store. The easiest way to find it in the store is to just go to mods and DLCs, and the second one for me is gonna be the Pumps and Hoses pack. Now getting into it, I'm jumping in straight into the JC450. Now this one requires 200 horsepower. Of course it holds 49,000 liters of slurry, but is capable of using a hose of 700 meters. Now that is important because 700 meters, it's quite a long hose, but for example, the ones that I have sitting up here in the field, those are 1300 meters, the capacity of that reel. The second most important component that you are going to buy. The reel is used to attached to the tractor, and it's used to transport the hoses, extend them, and collapse them while in the field. It's a very, very important piece of equipment, and it takes some time to actually, not to extend, but to collapse, to de-winding, I don't know the word, to put them back into this roll. It takes some time. Now, the second most important thing, your tool, your intermediate tool, because not all the injectors come with this floating arm that is at the end of that piece, okay, that goes below the injector when extended, and it allows the hose to be connected here and all the tubes and pumps and things to actually be connected to the end piece, the injector itself. Now let's go through the flow that we are going to need to follow in order to set everything perfectly in the field. First component, the tractor, we're going to fire it up and we are going to connect our reel. Now I want my reel to be connected to the front because at the back I'm going to use the injector. So we connect our reel, and as you can see on the top left menu, there is an action and there is going to be also a prompt at the bottom of the screen that it says press down the left stick to transfer umbilical hose. We do it. Now we got 300 meters of hose, 500 meters of hose extra, making 800, and in the end 1300 meters of hose. Okay, good enough. Next step, we need to connect the tool. That tool that it's just sitting here in the field in this shed. We're gonna go back, we're gonna connect it, and what you want to do before connecting any injector is just position yourself as best as you can, you know, I don't play, and you are going to press left bumper and unfold the tool carrier. So you're going to see that dot arm is extended and it falls to the ground. Boom. When in the ground, you see that piece goes higher And right now we can move backwards and the arm will be below the injector. Again, the prompt to connect it. The injector is connected, and now you can actually fold back this arm in order to move your tractor comfortably. It goes down and everything is set. Now, we need to extend the hose in the field, and that's a manual action. You need to manually extend the hose in the field. First, you need to pick up a spot where you are going to have your source for slurry. For example, I'm just going to go to this corner and I'm going to position here my source for slurry, the slurry tank. Okay, so right now I'm happy with that. So I'm going to just move away of the field, move out of the field main hose. I'm going to select the front tool and I'm going to press left bumper and it says change to unwinding. Okay, fair enough. Left bumper and up on the D-pad, change to winding. We are not recovering the hose, we are extending the hose. So we're going to put it to unwinding. Well, right now we're going to press left bumper again and down to start unwinding. Now you can just move backward a bit and you're going to see the hose sitting in the ground. Now we're going to move back, we're going to move frontwards. And I'm just going to drive through the field and we'll see you in a minute because that's going to take a solid minute to extend 1300 meters of hose. So we'll see you in a minute. Now when the first 500 meters are completely extended, you're going to see that the end of the hose just falls into the ground. I mean, to being comfortable, then when you need to connect them, well, I'm going to just move closer to it and keep unwinding. Now that we are done extending our hose in the field, that's a quite long hose, yeah, we need to connect it. So we're gonna select the middle tool again. We're gonna unfold the middle tool, so this arm is gonna go down and it's gonna prompt already left bumper plus Y, and it's going to be connected to here. Now the thing is, we are not connected to any source of slurry, but first we need to connect these 1300 meters of hose. We need to connect them together. So let's jump into every single end begin of hose and connect them. Well, we're here and you may say, how do I grab? There is no tool, there is no function, and there is no control. I cannot grab this thing from the floor. So how do we connect them? Well, basically, there is a tool that comes with the Pumps and Hoses DLC that is a wrench. So if we go to the store, we go again to Pumps and Hoses pack, and you move to the very end of the pack, you have a wrench. I've already bought that one, so it uses as you use it as a like a chainsaw or whatever. You press up on the D-pad, and a prompt is going to be there which says B attach umbilical hose. We press that, and we move them together, and right now, whoops, there you go. So to connect it. Now the next one. Back into our tractor, we are connected, all the hoses are connected, but there is still no slurry going through the hose because we don't have a source of slurry. We need a tanker connected to it. So let's jump back into our other tractor, which is our Case Magnum 400, and right now we are connected already to this tank. This tank can be lifted or left sitting on the ground. So we're gonna fire it up. We have 6,900 liters of slurry. So we're gonna go ahead and go to the end of the hose, or the beginning of the hose, depending on how you see it. And I'm going to align it on the left side of the tanker. So right now I'm gonna go closer, and it says attach umbilical hose, left bumper and Y. Now I'm gonna move ahead a little bit. I'm gonna just move somewhere around here. Now my OCD does not allow me to leave the wheels on top of the hose, so yeah, okay, we're gonna leave it here. Now right now it allows me to left bumper and activate pump. Now I'm gonna just detach this thing. I'm gonna lower the container attach it back, and then I'm going to activate the pump, press left bumper and X. You can see that the slurry goes down at the bottom of the screen. Why? Because the pump is pumping slurry inside of the hose. Right now, it's done. Now, go back to the other tractor and let's see what happens. Back into our JCB. Okay, we're going to lower the attachment. Gonna lower the injector. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful animations by Creative Mesh. As usual, outstanding jump. This guy is just amazing. And you're gonna see that it goes down. We move down also the tool, and right now it's automatically working. But there is a problem. You see that the slurry injection is not constant. The problem is the length of this hose. This hose is 1300 meters. And actually, if you remember in the store, this tank only is able to serve a hose that is 700 meters. So I'm gonna just disconnect this tractor. I'm gonna disconnect also the umbilical hose. Lift it. I'm gonna move it back, and we're gonna get the other one and see if we still have the same problem. So I'm just gonna go ahead, move this slurry tank aside, and we'll be back in a minute. Okay, back into the field, new position, and right now I'm just going to go and activate the pump. Move back to this tractor, and if we go down with the tool, we go injection, and we should not have any kind of cut out on our slurry injection, because actually that tanker that you're using right now is able to serve a hose of 1500 meters. Now, I bought it with a configuration where it also holds water. And you might say, why? Well, basically, because with that setup, we can cover the last piece of this video, which is going to be maintenance of your hoses. Let's jump into it. Well, we are back in the field. We have no slurry left into our slurry tank, but we have it full of water. Right now we have 99% of water. So I'm gonna just go ahead. I'm gonna review that piece of equipment and how to operate it. First thing first, we are going to select it. Okay, we're going to select the front piece, and we are going to press left bumper, and we are going to turn on the compressor. When the compressor is completely full, so it finishes its loading with air, it's gonna make a sound. Can take a little bit of time. There you go. Psst. Once it's done, we press left bumper and A to clean the umbilical hose. It's clean, and right now we are ready to the next step, which is going to be, how do we collect back all these hoses? You may think, oh, you know what, I'm gonna sell these hoses and be done with it. I am buying another one. Well, you can't. You cannot sell these hoses. The only way to get rid of these hoses is right now to actually fold them or like collect them all, and then you can pack them. So let's see, what do we do and how do we do it? First thing first, we need to disconnect the hoses. So I'm gonna select the pump, the tank, and I'm going to press left bumper and Y to detach the umbilical hose. Okay, so that hose is detached. Now that hose was moving. I don't know what happened there, but anyway. So the next thing is that we need to find all the joints, which could be this one. No, that's not a joint. So we need to find the joints. And when you find the joints, you need to detach them joints. Okay, we're gonna just go ahead as fast as we can. And here's the joint. We're gonna use this tool. And we're gonna press detach, so we have this hose separated. Now let's go to the other tool. We have the extractor there, so we're gonna go ahead and disconnect the other one, which is gonna be somewhere around here. Here, there you go. So this metal piece, and we're gonna disconnect it too. Okay, now when everything is disconnected, you need to go back to this track, to your main tractor, the one that has the reel at the top. You also need to detach the umbilical hose. We're gonna fold everything in. You're gonna do the manual operation and the slowest of the operations of the entire DLC. Now you're gonna go ahead, position your reel closer to it, and it's gonna tell you, select this tool, and it's gonna tell you left bumper and connect. Once you're done, you're gonna keep pressing left bumper and change to winding. So left bumper and up to change the winding, and then start winding. Now that takes a minute because it needs to roll the entire hose in here, and it actually takes a minute. I'm gonna measure how long right now, and we'll see in a minute. And ta-da! So it took us 6 minutes. 6 minutes to recover 1,300 meters of hoses. So you may want to use a couple of tractors in a couple of these things because that takes some time. Now, well, that was the very first video that we plan to record regarding the Pumps and Hoses DLC. There is much more. As you can see here, there is a lot more buildings, new functions, new stuff, new combinations, new possibilities. I mean, every single BGA that we build is going to be unique. These hoses, these tubes here, they are dynamic. It depends on where you put your pieces, and they will be generated accordingly. The different pieces of equipment that it come with the pack, absolutely amazingly detailed. Combinations and possibilities according to your gameplay. So you go into small hoses, you go into big hoses, you go into big fields, small fields, big operation, small operation, multiplayer. That is going to be awesome. Now, big shout out to Creative Mesh and big shout out to Giants to allow me to actually review that ahead of time, give it a try ahead of time, and actually break my head. Thanks to DJ to actually help me figuring it out. Now, having said that, guys, and as usual, be nice, play nice, and any comment, any doubt, let me know in the comment section below. See you later. Bye.